I'm gonna pop some tags. We gotta do this podcast right now. It's time for episode 157 of the Talking Rad Show.
It's awesome.
That was really, really bad. I hope you cut that out because that was really.
Let's start
people
again.
are gonna turn off the episode if that's what they hear.
Okay, let's see how Thane does it. Let's see what Thane's intro is.
Hey, all you people. It's
Okay.
time for Radcast Podcast.
It's SpongeBob.
It is much fun.
Oh,
Did I say Radcast Podcast?
Should I? Let me try.
you spoonered it
Let me try.
like Arthur.
What time is it?
Radcats Podcast time.
It's time to
School's
play
out
basketball.
vacation. What time is it?
It's Wildcats. School's out.
It's actually the end of summertime, and all the kids started school today, which is on a Monday. You guys didn't hear this until Friday, though, so now you know our secret. We record on Mondays.
I got pictures of my
nieces and
niece
nephews.
and nephew going to school today.
I got pictures of
They
my
were cute.
younger siblings. They're going to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're of that age where it's either go to school or what
Or drool.
or drool or I think I was always told that if you don't go to school that you would go to juvie. And I don't
Wait,
think
did your mom tell you that?
Yeah. I don't
Wow.
think that's true.
Very
I think
manipulative.
I think it was a yeah, it
Mrs.
was just
Skylar's mom.
she was just like go, you got to go to school or the cops will come get you. I'm just like I'll go to school. I'm not getting cops ain't touching me.
No, it's more like if you don't go to school, the parents get in trouble because they'll probably.
Is that a thing though? Like
No.
you don't have to be enrolled in school.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you have to
it's-
be.
I think
But
it's
just
the
not
law.
like I know it's
looking
not just
up.
public school, but like you just have to be enrolled in something.
You'll have a
excuse me.
talking to, but then your parents will also have a talking to because they'll want to see how they're parenting you if you don't go to school. Like if you're not.
But
going
what
to
if you're
school.
home? Like your homeschool is fine.
Well,
I'm
no,
sure.
like in public school, if you're like absent a lot of the
Oh
time.
yeah, but I'm saying
yeah.
if you're homeschooled, that's fine.
Yeah, if you're enrolled in something.
So you do though? Like do you have? I guess Cole's looking it up, but like
It's like a
for-
government.
I
thing, I'm
was
pretty
always
sure.
under the impression that you had to be enrolled in school.
I'm pretty sure it's.
Which
I'm pretty sure
I don't
it's like
think
a
I'm
legal thing.
necessarily opposed. Like I think our goal is to make smart people. We don't want dum-dums walking around.
Although I gotta
that
wonder,
mean?
does it
What's compulsory mean? Compulsory?
compulsory?
Probably
Compulsory?
stems from the word compulsive, I assume.
Compulsory education laws require children to attend a public or state-accredited private school for a certain period of time. So yes, you have to go to school.
Let's look up compulsory.
Although another question is, do the
Required
parents
by law or rule. Obligatory.
So they have to go to school, correct?
Do the parents have to pay for it, or is this like a? Is this like you enroll it and like the state has to fund the school? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's an enrollment fee,
Oh yeah,
but most of the school is paid for by taxes.
yeah, that's true.
I think our registration fee was like $100 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Literally all you have to pay to go to school, other than you're supposed to try and get your own supplies.
And don't forget about taxes.
I mean, as the student, I guess. It's not like we had to pay. There was no tuition fees or anything like with college.
Oh, yeah.
It was like you
The
pay.
registration
Yeah, you
fee,
just
and that's
you
it, really.
register and then. I mean, yeah, you're supposed to buy your own supplies, but I think, at least from what I remember, it's been a hot minute since I've been in school, but the school would supply you with stuff if you didn't have it.
There's too many spiders in this basement.
Did you see another one?
It's right over there.
Is it moving?
Oh God, it's
No.
on the wall.
Yeah.
Where?
You should get that one. It's right on that corner
on the
of
door?
that
Gu-
door.
Before I get that one, you guys, if you guys didn't see it, but there was a spider right back there. I tried to squish it, but it ran away, and I screamed.
He screamed
I destroyed its web.
Don't bother. We'll just get it after the show.
Yeah.
It's just I put all the lights up there. Everything's in the way.
We
right
have
now.
we just have a live audience members
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
We call him Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Steve the Spider. You know, speaking of school, by the way, I was actually wanting to bring this up during the show, and then I'm still gonna bring it up, obviously, anyway. But then I realized anyway, before bringing it up, like I don't know, earlier today that this is kind of a dumb topic, specifically between me and Sky. Maybe Thane might have a different input on it. And it's because we went to the same school. And so we literally had the same education.
Yeah.
Thane had a bit of a different because he went to a different school. So I
went
guess
to the same school as you for like. Wait, what you're talking about? Like high school? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
high school.
okay.
that was one too many K's, my guy.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
One.
There you go.
Well, I went through, like elementary school and whatever they call all of elementary grade school,
junior
through-
high.
I went through the elementaries with you guys. They had like
1 through 3 or 1 through 6?
1 through 6.
One
I
through
went to the
6.
same places you guys. Maybe. Which one did you go to? Did
You live
go-
next to it, White
Mountain
Pine.
View, the
Okay.
cool school.
Mountain View and White Pine.
Oh,
Did you
well, I
go to
went
Dork Shack?
Yeah, I did.
You freaking dork.
Well, I lived closer to it, so
we went to Mountain Dew. Correct.
Get wrecked.
yeah.
That's an inside joke for all you people about the inside. You like that.
If
Anyway,
you lived in the Burley area.
so what I was gonna ask was, as Skylar can just basically reiterate what I'm going to say because we, like I said, had the same education. I guess I should preface it as a result of that statement. Growing up in school, kids have to read books. That's where we're going, by the way. These guys
Okay.
should know by now what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. And I was just talking to my brother's wife literally yesterday and talking about the different books that we read for English class, specifically in high school. And she had read things like Of Mice and Men, To Kill a Mockingbird, things like that. Like the classic typically
Classic
American literature.
American literature.
Yeah, exactly. And I got thinking that we didn't really read that stuff. In our school, starting with like 9th grade, we did like Romeo and Juliet, and that progressed into doing some Greek mythology, things like Homer's Odyssey. And then by sophomore year, we did The Scarlet Letter. I don't know what else we did that year. Then junior year, we did like Animal Farm.
I think sophomore year was when I did Animal Farm.
Oh, really?
Mr. Nelson.
Oh, yeah. Animal Farm. Okay, so it was Scarlet Letter and Animal Farm. Wait, Scarlet Letter might have been junior year. Regardless, we did Scarlet Letter at one point.
Yeah, we definitely did.
And then we also did 1984 by George Orwell as well.
Did The Giver.
Oh, we did The Giver. Yeah,
Giver
so
was
that was
freshman
freshman
year.
year as well. And then we did a bunch of Shakespeare, not just Romeo and Juliet in our freshman year. We did things like Hamlet and the other one, Hamlet and I can't remember.
Well, I don't know what it is.
Oh,
I
my
don't
head.
I thought we only
broken.
did those two.
No, it's Hamlet and the other one, Shakespeare. It's like the other super popular one.
Macbeth.
Hamlet and Macbeth. Thank you. And so that's basically all that we did. And I realized that we pretty much only did. Hold on, wait, what?
I just need to be set straight on. I don't remember Hamlet, and Macbeth is the one with Horatio where he gets stabbed in the back. Right?
Horatio is Lion King, but the original.
Wait, is that Macbeth?
That's Hamlet.
That's Hamlet.
Okay, Hamlet's Lion King. Macbeth is the uncle that. No, that's Macbeth. That's Hamlet. What was Macbeth again?
Macbeth is the guy who wants to be king, and so he like kills a bunch of people to become king. And then Macduff is like, you killed my son, prepare to die.
I don't remember Macbeth.
It's the one with a lot of the, obviously Shakespeare did a lot of horny stuff. This one had the most.
Okay.
I think the movie we watched had one scene the girl was just pouncing around in her underwear.
That's hot.
Weren't there actual exposed breasts?
That was in
Romeo and Juliet.
And also, not to make
Macbeth,
it weird, but that girl was 16 when she filmed that.
Nice.
I was
too. Nice.
She might have been 14.
No, I remember she was 16 because
16?
I was 14 and I was like, oh, wow.
I don't remember. We watched that version. I don't remember. They might have had they cut it out. They had like a Clean Flicks version or something. But the Macbeth version, apparently Playboy, when they had a lot of money, they produced a 70s version of Macbeth. And we watched a fight scene from it, like Macduff versus Macbeth. And it was like really entertaining for like a Shakespeare play, but the teacher cut it away just before Macbeth was about to get his head cut off. It's like, dang.
So that's basically what we did. We did Shakespeare, we did George Orwell, and randomly The Giver and Greek mythology. So I don't really know why we did those instead of just typical classic. Oh, I guess we'd start with Scarlet Letter as well, but I don't know if that's American. That might be British. It's probably American. But we didn't do a lot of classical literature. It was either like ancient or Shakespeare.
Yeah.
No. Well, okay. Shakespeare's basically ancient.
Our curriculum was
more
really
modern
weird.
With, George Orwell. Yeah, very weird compared to what I was talking with my brother's wife. So I was gonna ask you, Thane, because Skylar and I had the same. What did you do? What kind of stuff did you read in school? Do you remember?
If I can, I remember one was Fahrenheit 451.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've heard.
We never did that one.
I know the honor students in our school did.
They probably did more because they would read books faster than us average Joes.
I remember,
They really screwed us over, by the way, with that honor system. Like, if you were smart, you really got praise in our school, and it's kind of it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
In all reality, if we want to, we can get into that. I know I've got a story for it.
Yeah, I'm down.
One of my favorite books was assigned reading was All Quiet on the Western Front. I thought that book was really painted real good picture of like
War.
the losing side of army, like the Germans. It was German perspective and how one guy was like, it showed war is hell.
See, that's a classic one
Yeah.
too, though. Like, I guess it's relatively modern as well. Like, it's probably around George Orwell, but still, like, that's another one I had heard about.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys had a lot more diversity already just by those two books alone.
I remember this one book we read and we teased it because like we thought the two characters in it were like gay and like the subtext was there. But we're
the
like,
subtext was there.
yeah, but the teacher's like, no, it's not that. Stop it, guys. It's like
Things from the 70s where it's part of his like culture to to make fun, I guess.
No, that was back in the 2000s. Like kids were extremely homophobic back. We were
they
extremely
definitely were.
homophobic, especially where I live.
our area, yeah. So do you remember what else? Like, you didn't read To Kill a Mockingbird or
I did.
Okay, and what about the other one I said?
Of Mice and Men?
Mice and Men.
No, I didn't
Not
do
that
that
one?
one.
Okay.
I don't remember every book. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, that one, like, I never heard of that book when I got it. The one about, like, the two characters who we thought were gay. But, I don't remember, but, like, yeah, I don't remember it before, and I don't remember it after. So
you definitely had more diversity with the books
Yeah.
than we did. That's a given
and,
at this point.
but for one English class, we did, like, I don't think this is based off a book, but we did watch, like, one about self-expression, like, through, like, literature, and it was Dead Poets Society. Did you ever watch that? Did you guys ever watch that for, like, an English class? Okay.
Nope. I know it. I've heard of it, but I.
They stand on the desks like, "Oh, Captain, my Captain."
Yeah, that's
That's Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams.
And had Ethan Hawke in it too.
I heard that's really, really good.
Yeah. There's a really dark moment. I don't really want to spoil it in case you won't watch it, but
I do want to watch it. Yeah.
It was very shocking when I saw it. It's like, wait, what? No.
So
what the hell?
in my opinion, we got screwed, Sky.
Yeah.
We did.
I like Greek mythology. Don't get me wrong, but spending like a whole half a year on it is kind of a joke. The Giver blows. That's a trash book.
I don't know why,
Scarlet
but
Letter is one of the more boring classical literature, from what I understand.
Maybe
Wait.
you had the same experience. Hold on, real quick. Scarlet Letter it was when Easy A came out. Is around the same time as when we read it. So I was just like Emma Stone, and when we were reading it, just Emma Stone.
Yeah,
Emma
that'll
Stone.
do it. Yeah, I mean, it's very ironic that it came around the same time when we
We're reading it.
were reading that book. But
no.
I will say, though, George Orwell and Shakespeare, I'm a fan, so I'm glad we got those. I don't really care much for Animal Farm, but 1984 is really freaking good. I was happy with that, and I was happy with Macbeth and Hamlet.
You know, book reports where we choose our own books.
We didn't do that.
You didn't do that?
Nope.
Wow,
we had
I did
AR
that.
reading, but not in high school.
Not in high school. We just didn't choose books to read.
Yeah, we
just
did.
didn't do
Wow.
that.
several. I guess it depends on the class, but I had some classes where we got to choose books. One year, like one teacher, she said, "Okay, if it has a movie adaptation, you can't do it," which
That's
is really
smart.
hard. That smart was really hard because there a bunch of popular books were like already had movies.
Oh yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, but
Smart on the teacher's point.
I
Though.
remember, like, I did The Giver one year. It's like, I never read this book. I'll do it. He says, hey, do you know this is under the page limit if you do this? Like, whatever.
Oof. You
Because
still
I
read
get
it?
docked a few
You
points.
said, "Suck my dong, teach."
Whatever. I'll do it. It was a book. I don't know.
That book's trash.
Yeah. Not that good.
I don't, dude. Honestly, the only thing I remember from The Giver is how the ending was like,
Really bad.
"It's up to you to interpret it."
It
It's
was
so bad.
ambiguous. And then the sequels later said, he survived.
Ambiguous endings are fine, but that one was really bad.
Oh, man.
We probably shouldn't spoil that for people.
If I was a
I'm not gonna say what it is. If
If
you
I
wanna
was a
read it,
if
but-
I was a wiser young lad, I would have picked something really
I
violent.
think the worst part about The Giver is the concept is super interesting, but then it's just not done well.
I would have picked something like super violent and dark. I would have picked something like The Road.
Well, I got a question then to follow up on top of all this. And you can answer this too, Thane, even though yours was different. But what is a classic literature book that you wanted to read, or I guess in hindsight wish you would have, or are still planning on reading sometime soon?
I don't know. I look at more modern books that are like not considered classic, but I'm like, wow, those seem more my like Cormac McCarthy books, like the guy who wrote The Road, No Country for Old Men, all those books. Like those are like dark,
They're still a bit older
nihilistic.
than I wouldn't
books.
call those modern.
Yeah, well, some of them are more modern. Like I think No Country for Old Men was like 90s.
I guess.
And The Road is like the 2000, sometimes 2000s. Some of his are older. Like his first novel, he's like written like 65 or something.
Like at this point, I don't even know if I'd call Hunger Games modern.
Yeah.
Freaking Harry Potter, definitely not. It's
Like-
weird. Those are old now.
Like, yeah, like if I knew about these authors, I was like, yeah, I'll go pick that. My mom probably wouldn't have been happy about that though.
It's funny that you ask that question, Skylar. It's almost as if it was a loaded question. Trying
Did
to
I bowl a turkey?
bait something out of me.
I got a turkey.
Well, let
3
me tell you what
strikes in a
you
row.
baited out of me, and you're not gonna like it. I'm just kidding. You might like it. So in lieu of this conversation I had with, I guess, mostly my family, but it was honestly with just my brother's wife because she was the only interesting one. Me, my mom, and my dad, and my brother all went to the same high school and all had crappy education, but she didn't. So that's why it was fun to talk to her. And this inspired me to go onto eBay last night and purchase To Kill a Mockingbird because I'd never read it. It's not here yet, obviously. I purchased it yesterday. I guess we'll do a follow-up
It's funny.
in, I
When
don't
you
know,
start
2 or
reading
3
it?
weeks when I finally get it and can actually read it.
It's funny. So that lady, she that was the only book she wrote for a while, and then one day she up and decided to write a sequel.
Was it bad?
I don't know.
Well, no one talks about it.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it.
I mean, I guess for me, there's 2 that I've always been interested in, and it's because throughout my years of watching cartoons, episodes and writers will always do calls, not necessarily callbacks, but call-tos, literature.
There's a word. It's like a homage.
Homage, yeah. So,
there you
like, when I first learned about Macbeth, it was Jimmy Neutron. They did a Macbeth episode. When I first learned about Moby Dick, I think it was...
go. Jimmy Neutron as well.
Was it Jimmy Neutron?
Yeah, because Sheen would always yell Moby Dick.
I swear there was like a Fairly Odd Parents episode or something
Nah,
too.
dude, I promise it was
Is
Sheen.
it? Was it?
He's like, call me Ahab, or something like
Yeah,
that. That
yeah, I
was
remember
definitely
that.
Sheen.
Well, good job,
I
Jimmy
remember the
Neutron.
Good job,
Macbeth-
Jimmy Neutron.
Remember the play was Macbeth in space?
Yeah. It was like Star Wars Macbeth.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, just I learned about like old literature through cartoons, and 2 that I've always been interested in. One is Moby Dick, and I was telling Cole about this a little bit ago, but I found at my grandma's house, I found a copy of Moby Dick from 1925. It is almost 100 years old, and I read the first page of it, and it's definitely written in like that older dialect.
Call me Ishmael.
Oh, is that what he is? That's
Yeah.
what he says.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the,
that's
fir-
what
the
he
first
says,
slide.
not
Yeah.
Ahab. Ahab's in that book
Ishmael's
still.
like the protagonist.
I want to look up. I'm gonna look up after this the Jimmy Neutron scene. I swear to God that Fairly Odd Parents did something similar.
I remember they did go through classic literature, and Tom Sawyer was like the bad guy in that episode.
Yeah,
It
that
like-
was Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. I
And
do.
I feel like Romeo and Juliet's just been kind of beat to death over the years of like, even in some of like the classic
freaking
Nickelodeon or Disney Channel shows.
Leo
like
DiCaprio.
the teen
Leonardo
stuff.
DiCaprio movie.
yeah, Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the beginning of that? The beginning shootout? All right. One of the most ridiculous thing, like, I know they're trying to be most accurate to the script, but here's the thing. If you're going to make it modern, you can change, like, one or two words to give some context. Because
You have to adapt it.
in the original play, he's like, pull out your swords, like, pull out your swords, pull out your swords. Like,
Say, pull out your gat.
No. Okay, so like it's the cousin of Juliet, the asshole guy. If you remember,
Horatio? No, that's his friend.
That's his homie.
no, it's I don't remember.
Mercutio.
Mercurio?
Mercutio.
Yeah, it's that
That
guy.
guy. It starts
He's
with an
played
M.
by the weirdest thing is he's played by
Mercutio.
John Leguizamo.
Let me look it up.
The guy. If you know who he is, you could look him up. And also remember Jamie Kennedy was in there. It's like, why is Jamie Kennedy in like a Shakespeare thing? But anyways,
Leo's Romeo, right?
yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And Claire Danes is Juliet.
Yeah, it's Mercutio.
I was
Yeah.
right. Get effed, everybody. I'm
So-
so smart.
Wait, I don't know if it's Mercutio.
Let me see.
He's a close friend of Romeo. No, it might have been Tybalt.
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 So
Shoot, I'm not.
Yeah,
smart.
he's the cousin of Romeo and Juliet.
So freaking John
Juliet.
Leguizamo plays Tybalt, and during this modern retelling, he like pulls out a gat and they zoom right on the side of the gun and it says sword 45 and he says pull out your swords, pull out your
that's
swords. It's like,
bad.
oh my lord.
They've
That's
done it.
pretty bad.
They've
It's like
done it.
you can modernize. You could say pull out your gats, pull out your pull
Get
out
your
your
guns
guns.
Put
like
up your
You
dukes.
can change around a few
Let's
words,
see,
but
let's see
literally
your Sally
pulling out
Mustang.
pulling out a gun and putting the word sword on it just to excuse him saying sword. It's like, oh.
Get your glizzies out, everybody. And then somebody pulls out his wang, and you're like,
Get out-
whoa,
get
that's
out
not
your
what we
Colt
meant.
point
That's not what we
45.
meant."
When I first heard the word glizzy, I thought it was another word for like gun, but it's a hot dog.
It's a hot dog.
Oh, it sounds like a
and
donut
people-
to me.
I think people call them glizzies a Glock.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like I thought it was another name for a Glock.
Yeah. Your glizz.
That would be fun. Maybe when we probably should do more Patreon content. Actually,
Yeah,
we need
watch
to.
a watch long of the Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. It'd also be fun to just watch some of that old classic literature stuff. Anyway, my other one, and I don't know if this is classic literature, but this is just one I've always heard about over the years, called Lord of the Flies. Have you guys
Oh,
read
yeah,
that?
yeah.
I
I've
haven't
never
read it, but I've
Is
I've
that
heard it's
classic
good.
literature?
yeah, that's considered classic literature. I remember my siblings, my sister and her friends read it, and they didn't like the book. But I like watched the summary. It's like, oh, this sounds awesome.
Isn't it very dark?
Oh yeah, it's very dark. It's a bunch of kids who get crash landed on an island, and they're trying to survive, and some messed up stuff happens.
Yeah.
Well,
Like this is like the classic order versus chaos novel. Like
Well,
and the
yeah.
and they kill a pig and stick its head
I
on the
know where I was
fly.
going.
And a kid hallucinates and it says, I am the Lord of the Flies. That's where the title comes from.
I know that's been like adapted into a lot of
Yeah.
different like ideas with things before. I can't think of any. I was gonna try to save one. But
I know
can't
there's a
remember.
lot of there is, I think, Metal Gear Solid 5. There's like a reference to Lord of the Flies.
Oh,
There's like
yeah.
I think you can find a pig head somewhere, and also the fact that there's a kid who leads a child soldier militia. That's definitely.
And I was gonna say, Sky, you've been reading the Lord of the Rings. Those are technically
yeah,
classic
technically
literature.
classic. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I mean, granted, I'm a big geek, and Lord of the Rings is literally my favorite thing of all time. But it's fun, and I was telling Cole about this a while ago too, as I was just reading it. It's fun to see how, because I'm obviously comparing them to the movies, because that's what I saw first. But it's fun to see how they adapted it, because it definitely is an adaptation. It doesn't follow the books to a T. Some things are out of order. They've switched out some characters to be more dramatic and kind of, like, for example, they switch out one of the elves in the movie, or excuse me, there's an important elf from the book that they switch out with Arwen, Aragorn's girlfriend / elf. She is in the book, but she just doesn't play as big a role as she does in the first movie.
Wait,
So,
do they? Else no, don't they swap? Don't they have Legolas swap with someone else? Isn't there like another elf that goes on their quest?
no, it's definitely Legolas.
Okay.
You're talking about Glorfindel, who
Yeah.
it was swapped out by Arwen.
Oh, okay.
Like it's very much so classic though, because like even like the Hobbit's a little bit older, right?
Yeah.
Because my dad read the Hobbit in school. That's one of the only books he really remembers actually having to read in school.
It's funny. Everyone thought that Hobbit came out later, but if you look it up, the Hobbit's clearly like 2 decades older than Lord of the Rings.
It was so much of it's what's the word? It's
so much
definitely a prequel to the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know if you call it a prequel though, if it's the original.
well, he wrote
You can
The
call
Hobbit.
it a prequel. Say it's a prequel,
guess
but Lord of the
technically
Rings.
I don't think because everybody knows the Lord of the Rings, and I think they think the Hobbit came after because
the movies.
Well,
you read it. Did it read like it was supposed to be a prequel like thing, or did
The
it
Hobbit?
read? Yeah. Did you?
No, it reads like its own
Its own
standalone
thing.
thing.
Like when you get to the end, it's not like you want more. It's just like that's the end.
Yeah, it's finished.
Okay, so then it's interesting that that's just because of the movies.
Yeah.
Then, because I thought
Apparently,
maybe there
J.R.R.
was some context.
Tolkien wanted Lord of the Rings to be one book, but he's just kept writing.
Oh, it's like it's magnificent. Granted, there are parts that are a little slow, and he goes into excruciating detail with lots of things, but
It's kind of funny
it's
how
fun.
it's kind of funny how they made like 3-hour films off the 3 books, which just makes sense. But then they take The Hobbit, which is smaller than even Fellowship of the Ring. They somehow stretch 3 films, 3-hour long films out of that one.
That could be an entire podcast in and of itself, just talking about the hardships of The Hobbit. But I think the biggest downfall of The Hobbit was Guillermo del Toro was writing it and was going to direct it, and for like 3 years was in pre-production, and then nothing was happening as far as like he wanted to move on to other projects because he already spent so much time on The Hobbit. So then he stepped down sadly, and he was like very disheartened to do it, but he wanted to move on. And then Peter Jackson stepped in with like 3 months of pre-production. It was a nightmare. To put that into perspective, I think he had 3 years of pre-production for Lord of the Rings before they started shooting, and then he had like 3 months.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a mess. But to kind of full circle back to this conversation of books.
Classic literature.
Yeah, classic literature. This is a list of 100 books you should read before you die, but I just want to do 10.
Wait, speaking of Peter Jackson, did he want to use a bunch of miniatures, but they didn't? They
couldn't get them ready in time
I
or
think
something.
they ran out of time, and that's why
Okay.
lots of things were CGI.
Yeah.
With there's the list you got. What's the website?
Also, I saw the Harry Potter miniature. They had it in the
Reedsy?
museum. It looks amazing. Like for the Hogwarts.
Oh yeah.
It's Reedsy.com.
Reedsy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Never heard of it. First one I clicked on. And I don't know, take it for what it's worth. But number 1 is 1984. It's a fun one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, number 2, Huck Finn. I've never read that.
Never read it.
Number 3, Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Did you know there's like 5 sequels to Tom Sawyer?
Really?
Yeah.
Was that him just trying to milk it?
I guess. Like I looked up. It's like, wait, there's a bunch of sequels to Tom Sawyer.
That's interesting.
Number 4 is called The Alchemist. I have never read it, but I've heard it's very,
I've never
very
even
good.
heard of
I've
it.
never heard of it.
Will Smith really talks this one up. It's almost kind of like a... Well, let me just read it. It's... The magical story of Santiago's journey to the pyramids of Egypt continues to enchant readers worldwide. A dreamy triumph. Number 5, The Aleph and the Other Stories by George Louis Borges.
I don't know what that is at all.
Me either.
Yeah.
Number 6, Animal Farm. Number 7, Aesop's Fables.
I know that. That was
I've heard of that.
It was like an unfinished work. He's like planning to have like what is it, like 6 stories from each character.
Isn't it like a bunch of like short stories though?
Yeah.
It says
There's
Aesop's stories reflect every aspect of human nature.
I've never read it or anything. I just have heard
yeah.
of that one at least.
No, that's the Canterbury Tales. I'm sorry. I Aesop's Fables. I think it's just like those classic fables, like with the animals, like don't stick your fork in the electric socket.
That's definitely what it is because it's got a picture of animals on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were not gonna go with fork in the electricity thing. I thought you were gonna go like, don't stick your willy in a bee's nest or something. Because I mean, don't do that.
Yeah.
Unless you're into that thing, we don't kink shame.
No,
but
we won't.
it's
You do whatever you
freaking
want.
weird.
Owie, is what I gotta say.
Okay, number 8, Alice's
Masochist.
Adventures in Wonderland.
Yep.
Yup.
Number 9, Anna Karenina. Anna Karenina.
I don't know. What that is.
Karina. It's like, War and Peace. It's the same
Oh,
author.
okay.
And then number
Apparently
10,
longer.
Number 10 is Anne of Green Gables.
I don't know what that is either.
I know that book.
Well, do another 5. Do another 5.
Another 5? Okay.
Go until we know one.
11, As I Lay Dying.
I know
Nope.
that one.
I don't.
12, Beloved by Toni Morrison.
Nope.
13, The Book of Thief.
I don't
Marcus
think.
Zusak.
Probably not.
14, Brave New World by
I know that one.
Aldous Huxley. The Brothers Karamazov.
Nope.
Nope.
16, Catch 22.
Yeah, I know that one.
17, The Catcher in the Rye. I've
I
heard of
know
Oh,
that
there
one.
we go. Okay, we can
Yeah.
stop now. I've heard of that one.
My
Oh,
mom
man.
didn't want to do that book for her book report because there's too much swearing.
Aw.
So she
Okay,
chose
hold
another
on.
book.
Just the last 3 because we know these. 18, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. 19, Charlotte's Web. 20, Call of the Wild.
Charlotte's Web blows. Want to know why?
Why?
Main character's an effing spider.
No, main character's a pig.
Oh. Well, Charlotte still sucks. It will not do, pig. It will not do.
That's Babe.
I know.
So, I guess my question for you guys is: do you guys enjoy reading? Granted, we all read manga, but like, what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer books or do you prefer manga?
For manga.
Probably manga just because it's got pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to read a lot
I don't
more
know.
books,
I don't have enough
but
attention span for a solid wall of text.
I definitely do, but I have to be completely enthralled by it. If I'm not, I will get bored
Although
very
I will
quick.
say audiobooks, if I should probably do more audiobooks because it's just read out to me and I can listen.
Why are you like grabbing the inside of your elbow? You been doing drugs?
No, I'm just rubbing it. There's some.
Like that's where you know.
No, I'm just rubbing
Here,
it.
Thane, I got your next hit right here.
No, I'm rubbing it, and there's like
You're rubbing in the drugs.
no.
Thane
No.
does drugs live? Question mark.
No, I'm just
Uh-oh.
I'm just rubbing like this dead skin off of it.
Oh, because you got sunburnt.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's gross. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would really like to read more books. That's why I got the
More
To Kill a
sci-fi
Mockingbird.
books.
I honestly doesn't really matter the genre to me. I would just like to have something that, like I said, enthralls me.
Yeah.
It has to like really grab me, or else, like I said, I won't really be into it. 1984 was interesting because while I was reading it, I was off and on with it. Like chapter 1, I was like, this blows. Chapter 2 or something like that, I was like, holy F, I can't get enough. And like, it just kept going back and forth. Or some of the chapters are just freaking slower than sin. And I'm just like, gosh dang, dude, this is hard to get through.
That's kind of how Lord of the Rings is, honestly.
Yeah. But, like, back in the day, like, the books that I can remember, I know I talked about it in the podcast a while ago with the 3x3s, that Soldier X book, I read that whole thing, like, basically in a night because I freaking just could not put it down. And then, like, surprisingly, the Hunger Games, specifically the first one, that was another one of those ones that just enthralled me, probably because of the Battle Royale-esque of it, and I am a fan of the Battle Royale-like stories. But, yeah, it just basically has to completely grab me, and if it grabs me, I will keep reading. Like the Mushoku Tensei light novels, I freaking read
Yeah,
those.
you
like,
burned
what,
through those quick.
3 months. I read the whole freaking series.
That's like what, 200 pages a book, a volume.
Probably more. I don't know, dude. They were big.
Yeah, you killed it, honestly.
Yeah.
I remember one time looking on Wikipedia, like longest novels, and apparently a light novel was on there. It's like, what? Like,
I wonder if it includes every single volume.
yeah, probably.
That would
But
make sense
looking
if it
back,
did.
it's not on there anymore. It was, I don't remember what it was, but
It was that time I got reincarnated as a insert anything here.
No, it was
wombat.
A
It was
spider.
apparently
A
it's apparently
slime.
it's apparently
little
it's
boy.
apparently one of those harem like novels where apparently the robot girls and they're named after famous sumo wrestlers or something.
Whoa, wow, that's a unique one.
What's
All the fat went to their tits.
And they're robots, so
Yeah.
wow. Love Japan, right?
What has been the longest series of books that you guys have read? Like for me, mine I read back in high school. I read the series of Unfortunate Events. I believe there's 11 books. There's either 11 or 13.
Though 13 books.
13, yeah. Okay, I read them all.
Well, mine's got to be Mushoku Tensei.
There's
I don't know what else.
20
would beat it.
volumes, isn't there?
Yeah, there's 24 total volumes. Technically, there's only like 18, and then the rest of them are web novels that they're still doing it.
I think I read like 4 Harry Potter books with my mom, but then I didn't read the 5th one, so that's probably enough.
There's only like 7 Harry
7.
Potter
Yeah.
books.
The 4th one's a freaking big boy, though.
The 4th one's
7th
my
one's
favorite.
the
Well, that's not
biggest.
true. The 5th one's
7th
my
one
favorite
is?
one.
7th was the biggest.
I didn't know that. Well, I don't think I've ever actually seen. That's
In
not true. I probably
size,
saw them at a library.
It's like going from biggest to smallest. It's I'll just say the numbers: 7, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then 3, 2, and 1. I believe those are the sizes in order.
Do you have them all at your house?
My parents owned them all.
They own all 7.
I believe so. Yeah,
I think I owned
but like the older ones, like 1 through probably 4,
beat up.
are very beat up.
Yeah.
Like I read those, my sisters all read those, my brother and my mom read those. Like they're beat up. But like the newer ones not as much because they're newer and my sisters probably don't read those ones. They probably had their own copies at that point.
I would like to get to the Harry Potter series eventually. I read the first 3 books growing up, but then I stopped. But I think my next series I'm going to tackle is I'm either going to do The Witcher or I'll probably do the Chronicles of Narnia because I actually own all those. And I'd have to buy The Witcher.
The Witcher isn't that many books. I think there's 5.
There's 5.
There's a
I think.
short story collection, and there's 5 main books.
But I think I might do that next year because I kind of like the idea of reading the books and also playing the games and doing some kind of big video
What did
about
you-
specific things.
Would you start with the first game too?
No, just the 3rd one.
Lame.
I heard 1 and 2 aren't
Boo.
they're
Bad Sky.
no,
bad.
shut up. I don't.
Well, no, I played the first game. It's pretty rough. It's,
What about number 2? Is number 2 playable?
number 1's playable, but it's, you have to play
So
mostly with the
They're
mouse and
all
keyboard.
playable.
Number 1's playable, 2's good, and
Is it
3
one
slaps.
a top-down game?
No, number 1's not a top-down game. It's
I thought it was like Diablo.
no, it's 3D. You can move around. There's a casual mode for The Witcher 1. If you want to go through that, it's doable.
I own The Witcher 1 on GOG. They gave it to me when I bought Cyberpunk 2077 for some reason. I don't know why they gave that to me.
Honestly, Cole, I don't think you'd like that game.
I don't think I would either.
No, it's very rough.
Every time I look at The Witcher, specifically The Witcher 3, I look at it and go, dang, dude, I'd love to try this out. And then I look at it and go, dang, dude, this is not up my alley.
Yeah, it's a very hardcore RPG.
Yeah.
It was Huck Finn. Huck Finn was Fairly
yeah,
Odd Parents.
that's what
That's
Finn said.
That's Tom Sawyer.
Oh, is that Tom Sawyer?
Yeah, he's the villain. I
Tom
remember.
Sawyer's
Okay.
Huck Finn.
Yeah,
They're the same thing, aren't they?
No, what?
Well, they're not the same
No.
person, but they're from the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah, they're from the same book series. Huck
Yeah.
Finn's his stupid friend, and Tom
Yeah.
Sawyer's the clever friend. He's
Yeah, I was.
hey guys,
I never meant that they were the same person.
hey guys, paint this fence for me.
And he's like, okay, we'll do it for you. So then he just lays about, and that's what
Yeah.
they do in Fairly Odd Parents. I
I
wasn't saying they're the same person.
Yeah. He did get a spin-off though, and apparently that's the better book, but I never read it.
Well, no, I wanted the spin-off of Tom Sawyer and Fairly Odd Parents. I want that. I want the whole Tom Sawyer universe animated in Butch Hartman style. I'm kidding. I don't want
no.
that.
I was going to say, this is kind of relevant to what you just said, but on Right Stuff, there is manga adaptations of old stories. There's Edgar Allan Poe stories.
I wonder if those are any good.
I want to get them and
Probably
read
not.
them. So there's
Unless
Edgar
the
Allan Poe.
artists can really draw.
There's
the thing.
Shakespeare stuff as well.
It's not like Japanese artists. It's like English artists, like American or like
wait,
European
really?
artists doing like
They
anime
are?
style. Yeah, it's the one of those. Have you original English language mangas, but they just adapted it to classic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The closest thing I've found of that is I have this 3-volume series of this Star Wars manga called Lost Stars.
Yeah.
It's an American book adapted by some Japanese person.
Uh-huh.
Really good, by the way. If you guys like Star Wars and manga, give that one a
I
shot.
still need to read that one.
It's a phenomenal one. It's only 3 volumes too, but like it's relatively close to what you're saying, except for it definitely
I always
is
see
by
the
so many
Transformers
Japanese.
manga, and that's definitely like looks like an 80s.
I always see like the Lilo and Stitch manga.
Oh yeah,
Or,
they had the Stitch anime where Stitch just where apparently Lilo yes I remember the stroke Lilo
I could have understood like her sister, but like we literally said Lilo. You even said Lilo and Stitch 2 seconds ago, I think.
yeah
I don't know the older sister's name, but I know Lilo.
Nana.
something like
no.
that. Anyways, the anime apparently it's like in the future where Lilo has like gone to college. It's like what?
Oh wow.
And then and you never see her, by the way. And apparently he like flies to Japan and meets like a Japanese girl, and it's like what is this fever dream?
I've seen like this. I think it's Lilo, or rather the Stitch manga, where like he goes to like ancient feudal Japan. He's like hanging out with samurais or something too. I'm just like, what the freak? Who's smoking when they wrote this?
There's also the Deadpool samurai.
That one actually looks relatively interesting though,
Yeah.
because like they have crossovers with
'Cause
My Hero.
Deadpool, it makes sense for him to be a manga because he's like an absurd character, and he
he's
probably
very
does
much
stuff.
so
in Japan.
more manga than other superheroes like Marvel
Wolverine got a
superheroes.
manga, except it's not adapted in his like Japanese arc in the comics, the famous Japanese arc that the movie The Wolverine's based off.
There's a Mario manga that I see all the time, and I do want to
Mario
get it.
Kun.
I found it. It's called Stitch and the Samurai.
What?
Can I see a screenshot?
I gotta get. I'm trying to get a good picture.
There's
I can't get a good.
there's
picture.
also
What picture was on this?
the
The one on the left. And then here's volumes 2 and 3.
What the freak?
The one on the left thing,
wow.
and then volumes 2 and 3.
What the
Skylar will edit some pictures on the. I'm kidding. He's not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do
If
that.
you want to find out, look it up.
What the
It's called
fuck?
Stitch and the Samurai manga, volumes 1, 2, and 3.
This look like Lone Wolf and Cub.
It's just
Yeah.
weird because the art styles are clashing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very
definitely.
much so clashing. It's like this very typical manga-esque style. All of a sudden, Stitch just plopped in the middle of it, and it's just like, what are you doing there, little guy?
Somebody photoshopped this. Is what
Yeah,
they
that's
did.
literally what it looks like.
Yeah, also on Right Stuff they'll say, "Hey, look, we got Usagi Yojimbo right here. It's
Is
a
that like freaking Jimmy Neutron's dad?
no." That's what?
He says Jimbo a lot.
That's
Hugh.
Hugh Neutron.
Yeah, Hugh Neutron. He says
No.
Jimbo.
What's the wife's name?
Freaking
Frick.
Jimmy's mom.
Jamie. I don't think they say her name.
Jimmy's
No, they
mom.
do.
No, I'm pretty sure they don't say her name. Like, it's a running joke where when Hugh would say her name, like a car horn or something would blare.
No, that's not it.
He'd go, dear.
Oh, wait, or maybe I'm thinking of Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, they don't say either of those two's names.
Jimmy's mom's.
You gotta say it like
name.
Carl. Jimmy's mom.
Oh, it's Judy. Okay, then
Judy
Neutron.
Neutron.
it must be Fairly Odd Parents.
What's Timmy Turner's parents' name?
No, also in Malcolm in the Middle, you never hear their last
Edward.
name.
Edward Robert Turner, and let's see what mom's name is.
Ed Turner?
Mrs. Laurel Sally Turner. I swear to you.
Mr.
Never
and
heard
Mrs.
that.
Turner, yeah. I've never
Um,
heard their names.
What did you just say earlier, Thane? Just 2 seconds ago.
Malcolm in the Middle,
Malcolm in the
you
Middle.
never hear their last name throughout the
You
show.
never do you? Hal, Lois. Yeah, I don't know.
Hal,
her last
Lois,
name.
Malcolm, Reese,
Reese.
Dewey,
Dewey.
Howie.
It's not Howie. What the freak? It's
Not Howie,
it's like DuckTales. You're not DuckTailing it up.
Not Howie.
And you forgot about Francis too.
Francis. Yeah, there's no Howie.
Okay,
The
listen
little
to
baby,
this.
too.
This is from Fairly
His
Odd
name's
Parents
Jamie.
fandom. As with his wife, Mrs. Turner, he's never given an actual first name in the series and is either called Timmy's dad, Mr. Turner, or simply Dad.
What's funny is that you're on the freaking Fairly Odd Parents fan wiki right now. That's the
Yeah.
funny part of this conversation.
If fan wikis have more dedication than Wikipedia articles.
Hey, I do a lot of research on fan wikis.
What was a dumb website? Fandom. That's a
Oh, yeah.
trash website.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
It's basically they take fan wikis and then just made them bad and riddled with advertisements.
Yeah. I
Bad
remember
websites.
in the day they used to call it just Wikia, and it's like, wow, this is cool. They got dedicated wikis. People can edit, and it's cool. And then one day it became fandom, and then suddenly like 5 reasons this series is aged poorly. It's like
I hated it back then, but after getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh, I've hated it even more because like most of the times I'll look up the name of a card so I can read what it does, right? I click on the fandom link because it's the first thing that pops up without even looking at what I'm clicking on. And you can't effing find what it does on fandom. That's how bad that website is.
That's
you gotta back out and go to a different website. It's so trash.
I think that's just that's just the people who manage it.
I think it's
like-
the mobile version
yeah.
personally, but
Oh yeah, the mobile version's
trash
terrible.
website.
I remember there's one article they had that pissed me off because it's like 5 characters who should take the lead instead of the main characters, and
This freaking like Hans from Frozen.
this artist was clearly thirsty for hot anime boys, and one that really pissed me off and wanted me to like freaking leave a comment, but I couldn't, was Full Metal Alchemist. They said Roy Mustang. It's like, you never watched the show.
Hey, Roy Mustang is pretty hot.
The dudes.
What is the title?
I did the thing.
He snapped.
What does the title Full Metal Alchemist mean? If it's just gonna be
it's the
freaking
Flame
Roy.
Alchemist. I have the books upstairs. If you want to read the size, it's
Thane-
Flame
Thane,
Alchemist.
it's called the Full Flame Alchemist.
Like what? No, like what do you have a problem with Edward Elric? He's a fine protagonist. What do you like? He's better than most shonen protagonists. Like, why do you just want freaking angry flame boy to be other than that he's hot? Like that's
hot.
literally the article. Okay, they had Sasuke. It's like
Sasuke's hot.
not Sasuke. It was Kakashi. It's like
Kakashi's hot.
I'd like a spin-off. It's like you already know his freaking backstory through
be
the whole
fair-
manga.
To be fair, in one of the
And there's already
fillers,
novels
he did
about
give a
him.
backstory.
There's already novels about him.
You're very heated about this.
I know. I hate this article. I hate this article so much.
We're gonna take it from here and go
It's-
back
it's
down.
been
I'm going to cool you off with
We're
some
gonna
water
cool off.
bending.
It's been a
I just
thorn
lightning
in my-
bent
There.
around my heart so I
it's
didn't
been
die.
a thorn in my side for years.
Don't worry, internet people are dumb.
Yeah,
This
we're on your
clickbait-
side.
We're
This
on your
clickbait
side.
article really pissed me off when it said that Roy Mustang should be the protagonist
You know who
instead
should
of
have been
Edward
the
Elric.
protagonist of Neon Genesis Evangelion? Ava Unit 1. Anyway, how much time we got left? I got 10 minutes.
yeah.
We could probably do this. I was going to loop back to the why our school system was bad, or rather our schooling was bad.
Yeah.
Specifically with the honors thing. But before we get there, Thane, did you have anything else to wrap up your conversation with any of the previous things so you don't loop halfway through my conversation?
No more about that art. I'm just kidding. No.
Because I don't want to be halfway through this and all of a sudden you loop back to...
I don't know.
I don't
kind of
know.
lost. I kind of
Something.
lost track of everything when I heard that fandom website, and then
There
there
are
a
such
tirade
on a
about
freaking
that.
fire.
There are
Yeah.
some good fan wikis out there that are incredible. And
yeah, fan wikis are good, but we're
Yeah.
talking about the
Yeah,
site
The
fandom,
website
yeah,
itself,
yeah.
fandom, is
It's got
garbage.
yellow titles. And
I've seen it.
the little
Like,
fire pink
One day
logo
they
thing.
decide they want to be a clickbait trash article website,
They're like,
just
wow,
like
that
on the League of
BuzzFeed, they're making money.
yeah,
we can do that.
Kotaku and Polygon. We want to be like them. It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, how can we get people to click on our website and then not find anything?
Literally.
Yeah,
Anyway, so
Garbage.
let's loop back. So I did mention very briefly that the honors system in our school was a joke, an absolute joke. I want to explain that a little bit more. So when you think of like an honors class, I'm gonna ask Thane this question. When you think of like an honors class, what do you expect out of it compared to a normal class? Say like you got honors English and normal English. What's the difference?
I think honors English is like for the more higher achieving students that like.
But like, what's the difference of the class, not the students in it?
Like more work, more advanced work.
More advanced work, like more advanced literature, more like for like a high like it's the harder difficulty to put it.
Like
I
for like
kids
that.
who
Actually,
want
that's a really
for
good
kids who want a
explanation.
challenge and know they can do
They
it.
freaking go to nightmare mode.
Yeah,
on
nightmare.
Who are overachievers, I'll say that much.
So I wanted to shed some light on it. I don't know how it is with every single school, but specifically with our school, and I noticed this pretty dang early on. Probably around junior high, I noticed this 7th grade.
I have no idea if we had these classes in my school.
I don't know.
By the
You
way,
Guarantee you did.
Probably did.
It's like
They
probably
probably call them AP, advanced placement.
Yeah. Like
So-
they had like the in the underground of the school you couldn't access because you were pleb.
I will say this: the only AP class or honors class or whatever you want to call it that actually was what you would expect it to be was the math classes. Those are always the higher end, the higher tier, the hard
The
mode,
prestigious.
if you will, of schooling. But everything else was an absolute joke, and let me tell you why. So, number one, specifically in our school, I can't speak for every school, but in our school, they taught the same effing thing. Every science class, every English class, and so on. Probably not, like I said, not math. Don't count math in any of this, what I'm saying. But they taught the same stuff. The reason I know this is because my cousin was in these honors classes, and I would compare my stuff with hers, 1 for 1 the same. 1 for 1 the effing same. English was the like slightly different because they did get to read more books, which looking back now in hindsight, I'm jealous of because that's why we started the first conversation. And then the other thing that really grinds my gears, like Peter Griffin says.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Thank you, Thane. I appreciate that. I needed that actually because I didn't know I'm not Peter.
You're cool.
So the APs or the honor placements, whatever advanced placements, they got to go on special trips, like what are they called? Field trips. Thank you. They got to go on field trips for no effing reason, free of cost, just because they were in the same effing class we were all in. Oh my gosh, it drove me insane. I was so mad.
Bro.
There's my rant. What do you guys got to say?
No,
about it?
okay.
I have rants too.
No, here's the thing. I remember we did have a fancy trip. We went to like for the government class. You could go to Washington D.C., but all you had to do was just be in the government class, maybe have good grades, and you have to just pay for it. You have to have enough money for it. That's about it. You just have to get paid for it, and you have to write on it, and care about government class or something like that. I never went to this trip. I don't think I could go to this trip. I don't know. Maybe I didn't have good enough grades. But that's the only real trip I know. I know there were some other trips, but that's about it.
I guess the thing that makes me the most mad about this was that these kids were getting a free ride to a new place, and I didn't get any trips that year in school.
Because you were a normie.
Did you get the
That was a normie.
senior trip?
Oh yeah, we all did that.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
the same. I'm talking like this is like 8th grade. Everybody got to go. All of these honors kids got to go to I don't freaking know Yellowstone National Park or some crap, and
Bullshit.
we were sitting on our thumbs.
Yeah.
That's how. It
Bro.
worked. And they were doing the same work as us, and so that really ticked me off.
So my rant on it is I used to be in all those classes. So in all of grade school, from like 3rd grade
What a nerd.
until 7th
Everybody roast
grade.
him in the comments.
In 7th grade, I can't remember what happened, but it had something to do with basketball that they like didn't want me to do.
Could have gone those trips because you got to play basketball. Sky.
Well, they didn't want me to be in honors classes because they were afraid my grades would slip.
What? No, don't you have to? Don't you have to keep good grades to stay on?
Yes, but basketball is very time consuming. Is what I'm trying to say.
So they're thinking because it's an honors class, you'd have more work, so you wouldn't have time to do all the more work.
Now I can't remember if this was coming from my mom or my coach or the teachers. I don't freaking remember. But all I know is is I was in all those honors classes, and then they kicked me out of them. And I was really salty because all the work that they were doing, specifically with the math classes, is they were just doing the work that we would do the next year. So, like in 7th grade, they were doing 8th grade math.
True.
And in 8th grade, they're doing 9th grade math. 10th grade, 11th grade.
That's why I said the math was different. They weren't doing the same stuff as all the other graders. They were doing the up.
Yeah.
So,
but when it comes to science class, they're doing the same effing thing. I promise you.
So
I believe
I
it.
remember the math class. If you wanted to take the more advanced math class, it wasn't called like honors math or anything. It was just called calculus.
Well, calculus was like the A tier of math when that was like the last level.
That's what the advanced math was. I never got to that because I hated math. Like in my freshman year, I took pre-algebra. That's how bad at math I was.
See, I think I took pre-algebra in 7th grade.
I think I took the 7th grade.
Isn't it pre-algebra in 7th grade?
I don't know.
And then it's algebra in 8th grade.
I hated.
And then it was geometry in 9th grade.
No, I did geometry in
I hated math. I think I got geometry my senior year.
10th grade? I don't freaking know.
I think I got to geometry my senior year.
I swear it was pre-algebra 7th grade, algebra 8th grade, geometry
I just know
grade.
I did college algebra twice because I didn't want to do math
college
anymore.
algebra is junior. It's called college algebra and trigonometry. I can't remember what sophomore was. Maybe sophomore was geometry. Then what was freshman year?
Freshman year is algebra.
Then what's 7th grade?
Freak 7th grade math, I guess. I don't know.
It's because I was in the honor stuff, so I did pre-algebra twice is probably what happened.
Freaking nerd.
Ugh.
Look at this freaking nerd. Roast him in the comments for me, guys.
Hey, don't worry. You don't need to roast me. I already got roasted.
Give him a big roast.
My 11th grade math teacher. Cole and I had the same math for 2 years, pretty much.
Yeah.
But my 11th grade math teacher said, hey, I don't recommend that you go up to the next math, but you're too smart to go to the lower math. So you should retake my class
again. She said that
again.
to you?
Yeah, and I was just like,
oh, shoot. That's funny.
I was like, I guess I'm retaking your class then.
Well, it's funny because, like, I asked if I could go to the lower class, and she's like, no. Like, you should go to the higher class. I'm like, no. And so I just retook the class. And then my freaking buddy, dude, oh, man, this guy was so sleazy and sneaky about it, too. He enrolled into the higher class. And in the higher class, he dropped down to the really dumb class. I'm like, how did you swindle that one? Oh, there goes the camera. And I was just like, oh my goodness, you freaking genius, dude. What a gamer. That's how we got around that teacher, by the way. Is he freaking went up and back down. Genius.
Man.
I did not work the system. I got worked.
You freaking got your work handed to you.
Yeah. So, all in all, I was definitely salty that they kicked me out of the honors stuff. Because, like, in grade school, it was fine. Like, I was in honors English, I was in honors math, and I definitely could handle it all. But, I don't know. Like, I guess where I was salty, too, was they got college credit for some of the honors classes.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, the college courses, and you would get college credits. And I definitely took a lot of college credits in high school. Granted, it doesn't matter because I didn't go to college. But still, it was like, I was a bit spiteful about it, okay?
Yeah.
No space on memory card.
Oh, so the camera's not
The
dead,
camera's
it's
not
just
even
full.
overheated. It's just full.
It's got a full diaper.
I did not delete. I don't think I deleted the last episode of the podcast on there.
Baka.
Silly boy.
Yeah, very bad. I'm a naughty boy.
Silly goober. Now you must be executed publicly.
Yeah. But
Well, you gotta wait because they can't see.
in other news, before we wrap up, Pac-Man comes out literally the day that you're listening to this.
Dude.
Oh my god.
And I'm super excited about it.
Wow, you're excited for a remake.
Packing some mans.
Yeah, I'm excited for a remake. Who's not?
No, not me.
Well, not this specific remake, but you
I
guys
raised
get
my
excited
hands,
for
by the
get
way.
don't you?
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes I
do,
get
but not
excited for
Pac-Man.
remasters or re-releases to like games that have like.
Wait, that's worse than getting excited for a remake because remakes are the actually ones that are different. Remasters
Well, I would
are the
say
same game.
I wouldn't say
upscaled.
excited. I get happy when something old that like hasn't been like getting a proper re-release finally gets a re-release.
Yeah, like
I'm
Wind Waker
oh,
on
yeah.
the Switch. I want it. Give it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I wasn't so cool with Skyward Sword because Skyward Sword sucks duty.
Duty?
But yeah, both
You
Skyward Sword
child.
and Twilight
Laughing at duty.
Twilight titties should get switched. And I'd be... And
Wait, pause. When you said that, what did you have in mind?
Twilight titties?
What did you have in mind, sir?
Adult midnight.
Bonk! Go to horny jail thing.
They can't even see
you
this.
even knew it, dude.
I freaking
you're
knew
fishing.
it.
You were
Instantly, dude. Instantly.
Adult midnight. Bonk.
Wait, why do you specify adult? Are you implying that when she's in the little form, she's not an adult?
I ain't
She's
going
not
for
hot.
that.
Bonk! Go to real jail. It's a shame you don't have the camera for that one. That'd been funny to get a picture of Skylar for the thumbnail laughing like that.
All I'm saying is that if they
That was
did
good.
do a
Good job.
remake of
It wasn't that funny, Sky.
Sky, you laugh at some of the dumbest things sometimes, I swear.
He's literally dead, guys.
Okay, ignore him for a second. And let me
We
tell you,
can.
I would be excited if they did a Xenogears remade like the Live Alive or done like Octopath
I'd be excited
Traveler.
about that.
It's like, yeah! And they also
Punch some
re-released
people.
Xeno Saga.
Honestly, the more I look into Xenosaga, the less I care about it. I'm sure the
Ouch.
story's fun, but man, it looks boring AF to play.
I mean, they could spice it up for like
They could, but like, as much as
I
I
mean, it's a
complain about
turn-based-
the
it's
long
turn-based
cutscenes
combat.
in Xenoblade, Xenosaga's like 10 times that. It's literally like hour-long cutscenes, and like you just basically don't get to play the game because you're just sitting there waiting for a cutscene. You're like, well, that's the play session. It was a movie.
just like Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
Isn't it
actually.
like an 8-hour runtime of cutscenes or something?
Metal Gear
Oh, it's
Solid
got to be
4?
more. It's got to be more than 8, right?
'Cause
Because
isn't the last-
Xenoblade's longer than
Isn't
that.
the
with cutscenes.
the last cutscene an hour long in Metal Gear? That you're talking about?
No, there's a string of cutscenes like in the middle that's like 90 minutes long. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't put it against you say that the ending is an hour long because I'm pretty sure it is, because there's like it starts rolling credits and then there's like a mid-credit sequence that goes for like 15 minutes and then it puts a bunch of lore. Just when you think you sit down your controller and you're done, it's like, oh, just imagine if Marvel movie had like a credit scene and then it like sets up the sequel like for 15 minutes here and like, oh, can we go now? Can I leave the theater? That's about
So you're
it.
saying that Mr. Hideo didn't know how to end?
Oh, he knew how to end it. He just wanted to troll us.
Lovely.
Curse you,
He did-
Hideo.
He did the Peter Jackson thing
Kojima-san.
where he made like 15 endings in one movie.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Mr. Jackson was also just doing the books, and he did cut out one of the endings.
Ooh.
Thanks.
Was it where Frodo and Sam have like a makeout session?
Yo, why'd he cut that out? That sounds great. Dang you, Mr. Jackson. Dang you, Peter.
Jared
Read the
Tolkien
books.
was ahead of his time.
Good thing I got an imagination. Am I right, boys? Am I right? And what else has it? Gosh dang it. Cut that out, Sky. You know who else has an imagination?
No.
You beautiful people listening to us or previously watching us. And thank you guys for doing all of that as well. And your beautiful imagination is lovely. Thank you for the show, Skylar and Trey.
And I just want to
appreciate it.
say that all three of us, this is completely off topic, but we all three farted really bad, and it stunk really, really bad.
I
Just
didn't
in case
fart,
there's
what?
anyone out there, not saying names, in case
Oh.
anyone out there really wants us to fart really bad, then it
Oh
stinks
God,
really
it
bad.
smells so bad
It
right
smells
now.
horrible.
Oh, God.
So grody
Ugh,
roady.
I'm gonna I vomited.
But thank you guys again. We hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, let us know in the comics about what your favorite book was in high school that you had to read. Maybe you hated reading and you didn't like any of the books you read. What was your least favorite book then?
You
at
read
that-
comic
that
books
point?
instead at the library.
Yeah,
Hank
you
the
could've
Cow
done
Dog.
that. Yeah, Hank the Cow Dog
I was-
slapped.
I was exposed to Dark Knight Returns in the high school library, and it was like, damn.
But thank you guys again. We hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good one, and we will see you in the next one.
As always.
Keep it rad. I said and always at one point, and then kind of effed it up. And now, gosh dang it, dude.
But
Keep it rad.
Keep it rad,
Keep
guys.
it rad.
Bye bye.
There you go.